Fire the intro!
Ichi Studios.
It's Blue Pop time!
Welcome to BluePopStream. I am Super Ichi, and I'm not sponsored by Pepsi, but I'm always open to offers. Oh, today is a special day. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe is out. I played the shit out of the original. I think I got almost every ending except for the one that requires the really long minigame. And I've been excited waiting for this re-release, revision. I don't know what you even call this. I've been waiting ever since it was announced, and it's here. So let's just get into it. Yes, not in many years, but yes. I think that's fine. The current time. Well, I started stream early. Can it not just detect my computer time? The fact that I have to enter time has me worried. What is the game gonna do? Settings. Subtitles. Sure. No, I'm good with whatever. I'm gonna be using my controller. Okay, I think we're good to go. The end is never the end.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Yeah, it is.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427.
And today's April 27th.
427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order.
This hurts really hard, considering I am an office worker.
Every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job.
Oh God.
And Stanley was happy.
Until?
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This
my mic.
complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Alright, I am in control. Alright, so I know this game will have multiple endings, many ways to fuck with you. So I think what I'm gonna do is, for my first run, I'm going to do everything I'm told exactly as I'm told. For like the canon order ending, whatever you want to call it. Then I will do one where I just ignore absolutely everything and see how pissed off the narrator gets. And then we'll see what variants pop up from there. Is there like a targeting reticule I can do? Right.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
My office is locked. Need to turn up the sensitivity. Can I do that? It's a little better.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Who farted? Movement's a little glidey.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
I love this game. It's weird, the interact, when I just click to X to interact, just makes the key tapping sound, even though I'm not in front of a keyboard. Is there a jump button? Crouch, look, interact. Okay. Oh, here we go.
A set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I know that I'm gonna end up there at some point. All right, here we go. Order route. Let me turn that sensitivity up a little.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Do not alter without consulting a whiteboard manager. This box is too small. Pre-review of weekly review. Office party. Marketing Mondays. Termination Tuesdays. We're broke Wednesdays. What to do about 432? Don't tell 432 about the meeting. Legal. Office efficiency. And they ran out of space. 451's private time. Get Chris out of the broom closet. Why am I in the broom closet? Who moved my desk? Please keep the targets on the topic of... I'm hearing clicking. Who's clicking? Oh, it's the slides changing. Tips for not getting fired. Talk less. Do unbelievably amazing work all the time. Let it ball up inside you. Take it out passive aggressively. Resent coworkers. Synergize core value expenditures. Monetize free to play. Using slides to assure employees everything is okay. Slick blue graphic. Everyone is unique. You most of all. Number of slides on this slide. What is hot? Profits. The stock market is somewhere here. Rate at which charts depict the same slide and same information. Rate of increase in graphs per slide. Please, no more charts! Oh god! Boss appreciation minute. Circle the top 20 things you love most. Why did we hire you? It takes 2 people to start a fight, and right now you're both of them. What are your dreams for the future? Spring break, clear skin, comatose, mitosis, pollution? Talk radio. Don't get fired. Throw something in the ideas bin. A lot of %. Bi-quarterly post-review review. More water coolers. More water cooler heaters. Charts need to be more hip. Find teenagers to put in teenage demographic. Big net? Some sort of child trap? Oh, there's so fucking much to read around here. Alright. Really? I needed a translation for that?
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
I'll be back for you later.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Alright. Executive bathroom. Ooh. Money in the morning, money in the evening, money for breakfast. Money crisp. It's a cereal jingle. Extreme bathrooms.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Thanks, narrator. Can I play the piano? Aw, rip.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
Yeah, I'm getting to it.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Okay. It's been a long time since I played the original, so I'm not sure how different this is.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job.
I'm waking up.
Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Oh, yeah? Ah. Can I go back up?
Whoops. Nope. Never mind. Stanley actually got back into the elevator and went back up. Silly me. Why did Stanley do that when he knew that it would just lead back to his boss's office? Well, that's a great question. I just can't wait to find out.
I'll go down, I'll go down. I just wanted to see that. Oh shit.
Here we are, Stanley. It's your boss's office. Exactly the way it was before you got onto the elevator. It's still just exactly what it is. What a decision you've made to come up here and look at the office again. This has fleshed out the plot of the story in new and fascinating ways I could have never anticipated. It's that keen eye for storytelling that you have, an incisive rapid fire of critical plot points, one after the other, weaving a rich tapestry of uncompromising narrative. I'm bolted to the edge of my seat.
Chill with the passive aggression, my dude. I'm gonna go back down. I just wanted to see what would happen. There's gonna be a lot of that in this game.
Incredible. Now he's getting back into the elevator and going down again. Ladies and gentlemen, how does he keep coming up with all of this?
I'm doing what you want, asshole! Forgive me one modicum of deviation!
Surely this time Stanley will walk forward into the spooky corridor, won't he? Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
I see. Oh, I could fall off and die there. Probably.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
No, I have to stick to the path for this run.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
427, there's me.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Oh, I remember the big screen. Oh, I love this.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Ah, that was loud.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
We won't get to explore it there, will we?
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Beat the game. Get your first achievement. Well, there it is. The cannon run, I guess. And here we are. Back at the beginning.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Time to be belligerent and ignore what I'm told, for the most part.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way. Stanley clicked on literally every single door in the office, because he doesn't pick up well on cues from his environment.
There might be an achievement for clicking on every door. Oh, those are the 4 computers. Okay, I know I've got to find several of those. Hey, Vegas. Oh, yeah, no, I just did the run, my first run, where I followed instructions. And now I'm gonna try and be belligerent and annoy him.
When Stanley
Here we
came
go.
to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Yes, sir.
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
I'd like to, but I can't get a drink.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. Room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
What if I did not? Whoa. The door opens both ways?
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Do not lie. If you're lying right now, stop. Oh, I remember this part. Oh, I remember this part. Do not jump from cargo lift while this is in motion. Will cause death. Bro, do you know what kind of gamer I am? I try and find all the possible ways to die in a video game.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong
Bye.
foot here. But in his eagerness to prove that he's in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death.
Fuck yeah, I did.
Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Yeah. I'm powerful as fuck. Let's do it again!
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a
Do
memo.
I need to do the computer again? Oh, that is the second one.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow, yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Wish there was a run button.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Oh.
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Oh, I can go back? All right. Forgot about jumping off there. Or if I can make it. Nope.
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley.
Alright, I gotta get off of that railing.
You are very powerful. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
No. Not this run, mister.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
No. You know what stream this is? BluePopStream.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door.
Ooh. Blue pop door!
All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you.
Oh.
See? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design.
All right!
Some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
What if I say, fuck your option?
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
Can I pick none of them? Is 1 good or is 5 good? He didn't say. Let's just do middle of the road.
Oh, of course. A 3. Really? Maybe next time we can get you to form an actual opinion, you know? Any level of critical thinking or engagement with your surroundings? Does that sound good? Think we can do that?
No!
Wonderful.
No, I'm gonna be a belligerent ass fuck!
From your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
Oh god. This worldwide leaderboard. Was this in the original? I don't remember. Are these actual users? Probably not. Players skip the intro sequence. Oh yeah, these are all fake. This is you. How long does it take you to get the correct door? Improve your Stanley Parable career. Our friends list empty. I'm so glad I didn't go back and replay the first one just so I can re-experience everything. So what happens now?
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please.
I'm gonna give you neutral opinion, because fuck you!
I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up.
I wanna play Halo!
In this game...
Oh, this is the minigame!
Towards danger.
Oh god!
You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours.
This is the one ending I didn't do.
4 hours of play to make sure it's effective. Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
Yeah, I'm not doing it.
You
Okay.
heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me?
The second one.
Well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single
The fucking baby cry.
experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm out. I'm done.
I'm done.
Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain.
Oh god.
Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
I want to play Elden Ring! What the fuck?
Fascinating. What do you think this game is about?
Is this Firewatch?
What's our backstory? What is our motivation? Well, it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower.
It is Firewatch!
Sort of twisted, erotic purpose. Yes, that must be it. What a fascinating venture into the experience of total...
It's goddamn Firewatch!
I love everything about this game, Stanley. And it seems there's a unique...
There's 90 S's!
Let's venture outward and see what else is out there.
Sweet! I can play Firewatch for free! I have not played Firewatch, but I recognize it immediately. I'm still making the typing sound. Oh my god. This is definitely new. Oh, I was wondering, maybe I missed. Oh, fuck. I don't know how they did this.
No, it can't be. It is. It's an open world game. Good God, quickly, block it off.
Block it off. Oh.
Thank goodness, Stanley. What a close call.
Oh, okay.
I really wandered off into that thing. That big, open, just wandering
Jonesy
around in
Lake.
right or wrong directions. No path to follow. You can just go in any... Oh, thank heavens we avoided it. Out of the woods Stanley.
They hate open world games.
I'm going to get us out of here. Let's find another game. Preferably something with walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls.
What next?
Okay, I think this will be just the thing.
Rocket League!
Wonderful.
Oh my god!
This is exactly what I had in mind. Just a
Yo!
nice big box for you to run around in. There isn't any possibility that you could get lost here.
Yo, we're in Rocket League!
Stanley, if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed. Okay, so what exactly do we do here?
Oh my fucking god!
Here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball?
Sports ball!
Sports ball? Oh, what fun! We shall run the bases and do a touchdown together. Yes, surely we must. Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun.
Oh my, oh, I'm faster now. Oh my god! That's amazing! And blow me away! Oh.
Are you doing it? Are you winning? Is this fun? Is it better than my miserable little story that I worked so hard on? Stanley, I have a thought. And I realize I'm not a sportsologist, but if one ball generates a certain amount of raw adrenal pleasure...
More balls!
Multiple balls makes for an even more euphoric sports experience. I'm going to try it out. Here comes another ball. Yes! Oh goodness, that really does feel amazing, doesn't it? Stanley, I'm like a child in a confectionery shop. I simply have to have more. I'm insatiable.
Oh god.
More balls!
More balls! Oh baby! Do I have to fall down here?
Are you enjoying this, Stanley? Are you having fun? Hold on. What are you doing?
I have left the sports ball.
Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you.
Oh.
How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come back.
Oh, we outside the game now. I think I fell. Oh. These aren't even real doors anymore. Where the fuck do I go now? Oh. Yep. Oh, it's my office. Whoa. I can barely fucking see anything. I'm afraid I'm gonna get jump scared. That was actually a little startling.
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice. And if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it.
Oh
He'll
yeah?
understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
Cool. And back at the start. Yep. Oh man, what now?
How long was I sitting there? Stanley wondered to himself. Minutes? Days? Centuries? Did something crucial happen while my senses were turned? He made a note to be more careful with time from now
on. New content?
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
This is what I was looking for. Oh yeah. Didn't think they'd be so upfront.
And thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh.
As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers.
Yeah, huh?
After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers.
Cool.
The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over.
Okay.
Step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
That's what we're here for.
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure. Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh,
Nope, there we go.
All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it. I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if... Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
Oh, yeah?
All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
I can jump now! This is... It's so dumb it loops back around to being brilliant and then right back to dumb. No more jumps? Cool.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content.
Another elevator?
Something else, right? Goodness. Another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
There had to be a reason this took years to develop. Thank you for enjoying the new content.
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. That's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance?
Oh, I have to check this. Hold on.
I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I
I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable.
Oh, yeah?
It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid.
I'm looking up the achievement
Lived
list.
up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always.
There actually is! Test achievement, please ignore! I looked up the list! Oh, this is different. Okay.
Psst.
Oh.
Stanley, come over here. In the vent. I want to show you something.
Oh. But what's over here?
Oh, you don't want to see the cool surprise I made for you? Well, fine.
Ah.
You're a dork. Oh, never mind. You're not a dork.
Now that you're doing what I say, you're not a dork. Alright, I'm curious. Coffee nut?
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past, and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be.
Oh.
So I made something special and tucked it away here where
What the fuck?
collectors won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look.
What the fuck? Am I about to step into Elden Ring?
I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
Oh! The Memory Zone.
You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release?
Steam page.
In October of 2013, when the game originally launched. Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
Hey, Kayaks. No, this is Stanley Parable's new re-release. They're just absolutely taking the piss out of itself. Collector's Edition. Audience Award. I wonder if they actually had these awards. Oh, wait, never mind. That one's a fake. Postcards. The original remake. Oh, wow. Yo, Firefox? Is this the original website? Good times. The soundtrack. A dollar bill. Demonstration. Oh, this was the demo before the game came out. Don't play for 5 years. It is impossible to get this achievement. New video game releasing today. Creator surprisingly down to earth. Little Stanley. What the fuck?
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives."
Don't read any reviews except this one.
Every game ever created. Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim. It was Persona 3. It was all of them. And now, it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk.
They name-dropped Persona!
A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Oh my god, they name-dropped Skyrim and Persona! I mean, we were playing fucking Rocket League a minute ago. Yo, Portal! What's Portal doing here? Minecraft? The fuck is happening? Memory zone maintenance? Person of the year. Yo, is that building the levels? Yeah, right? What the fuck? People play games because of what they can do inside them, and your game is very good at letting them know they can't do anything. Literally anything.
Here's another moving passage, this time from
A
GameSpot.
GameSpot review!
The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games, and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect.
Then why is it 9?
Anything else? It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone, to spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories. These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here?
Hope there's a Kotaku review in the trash. Wouldn't surprise me that much. Oh. Oh. Reviews.
Oh no. Oh God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's being collected.
Oh, this will be so good!
Reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
Steam reviews! This is gonna be good!
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator...
They included the username!
Funny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art.
Oh my god!
Up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
They really put that one guy on blast! Oh my god! The absolute pettiness! I fucking love it! I hope this guy sees this. I love this game. Just cases and cases of Steam reviews. Oh, here's another one.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did. But maybe it wasn't. Oh dear. What an awful memory to have to hold on to.
Did they...
Marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let
Oh
these
my
people
god.
down. Perhaps the Stanley parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
Did they make this re-release of the game just to fucking dunk on all of the negative Steam reviews? That is amazing! What an amazing power move! And to make you pay for it again? Which I happily did! Just to put their detractors on blast? The fucking flex! That is amazing! Hey Dave, thanks for tuning in. I probably have that same achievement too, but I'd have to check. Oh, here's another one.
What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button?
Down it goes.
Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley parable.
Oh!
It's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
I don't want a skip button. I think it's fine. Oh, I can't go in the water? Oh. Just gone. The area we were in is just gone.
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered.
No! Don't listen to those assholes!
On and on and on. No. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people. And if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue, and it goes something like this. The story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore, by becoming it is.
Oh my
so
God.
On and so forth, until inevitably, we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once. So, now you see, blah, 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 blah. We've eaten too much, and it can't be just yet. No, until 245. That the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be. It's the only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago?
He's just speaking nonsense now.
The story and the choice.
Oh, it's looping!
And therefore, by becoming it is. So on and so forth.
Oh, all right.
We all...
It was looping.
Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and...
It wants me to push it again.
...on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations. Not that, of course, you need a description of it, but if I had to describe it, I'd say
Oh my
it was
God.
less of a rumination and more of a treatise. Or maybe a manifesto. Look, I'll outline it for you very briefly, and you can tell me what you think. Okay, so my theory is that any choice you've ever made is simply a series of choices made by the person who you are, or were, or will be at the time of having made said choice.
Correct.
That is to say, if by articulating a choice you've already made, you bring that choice into being, then by making no choice and saying nothing, are you not simply erecting in the sanctuary of time a monument to every person you've ever been, making every choice to which you've ever given your great gift of mortal and yet timeless thought?
All right, now you've lost me.
Do all of the choices you've ever made, in fact, make you
I know it wants me to hit. I'm waiting till it loops.
and in fact do the very opposite. You see, it could in fact be both of these things at once. That you are both making choices and not making choices, and that they are both affecting you and not affecting you at the same time by virtue of the fact that you both are and are not making them. Okay, at first, I was leaning towards...
You lost me, my dude.
But now I'm going to circle around and slap the treatise label on this one.
I've never heard the word treatise before.
Vibe to it. But wouldn't you say that manifesto just has a much grander sort of tone?
Yes, but I don't think this deserves the grander tone.
And history. Ambitious history, if you will.
And mystery.
See, now you've gotten me going back to manifesto.
I didn't do anything.
We're going to be here all day. Okay, look, I have a method for exactly this sort of situation, and I do find myself in this situation frequently. I say each word back and forth in repeated succession until I become sick of one or the other.
Oh.
In which case, the word I am not sick of shall be the victim.
Oh.
It is an unimpeachable strategy, Stanley. It's rescued me from disaster in countless situations.
Oh.
All right, here we go. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto.
How long does this go on for?
Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto.
Okay, it's the exact same sound clip, so I think this just loops.
Treatise.
Let's go ahead.
Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. Oh, I can't wait to see what Cookie 9 will say about this.
Fuck you, Cookie 9!
Waiting of their Steam review, or at least change some of the wording, perhaps. To be honest, I don't even know if one can change their review in the first place.
I actually don't know.
I should become better educated on exactly how Steam works. Perhaps that would have been the smart thing to check on before I went about this whole exercise of making the skip button.
Yeah, maybe.
Although I have to imagine that after seeing this exciting new technology at work, surely whoever it is runs Steam will instantly run out and implement a new feature to make it possible to edit one's review, merely because of this very situation.
You hearing that, Steam?
I think that's quite likely. Or perhaps they'll simply grant this particular user the ability to change their review, so that the feature is not widely abused. Look, I would even be okay with Steam altering this particular review so that it reads as something more beneficial. Something along the lines of, this game is the best game. Let me start over. How about this? From the ashes of depravity rises the phoenix of quality. How else to describe the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe? Such a revolutionary step forward in the lineage of one of the most beloved video game properties of all time.
I'd say so.
And changes made to this expansion will surely resonate in the annals of the history of all media ever made.
I would like it too.
It's true to say that no mistakes are forever etched in stone, for the stone into which the Stanley Parable was carved has itself been transmuted, offering a message of hope to those who have ever erred in their judgment. You are not beyond redemption. You may change. and you may become more, so much more than you were before. If there is any message to be taken from the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, it is this. What a fortune, a privilege, a joy it is to have had such an experience.
It's gonna be something behind here at one point.
That as a community, as a world, there is time for us to become our greatest selves, as great as we ever could dream of in our wildest, most ambitious visions for a brighter future. Wow. Now, Stanley, that's a review. It's perfect. It's the perfect review. It's the review I've always dreamed of receiving. I have to read it again.
Oh.
It's simply too wonderful. I have to experience this just one more time. From the
All right.
Gravity.
Next loop.
Welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes. It's not
The door's gone.
durable by any means, but well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again. I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated, and we can say goodbye to it and just... Wait, how do we get out of here? Where did the door go? Wasn't there a door that led into this room? I do feel quite certain that there was one here before. How else would we have gotten into
You'll have to let me know when it is and what it is. If I can, I don't know.
Window or something like that. Do you see a window anywhere? A porthole? A sufficiently large crack in the wall? I'll take any of these. All I want is for us to move on and to please step away from the skip button, to go anywhere other than the skip button. There was a door here before, wasn't there? I swear there was. Where did it go? Can you maybe just ram your way through a wall? Is there any possibility that you could, say, slam your body into the wall until enough damage is done for you to be able to leave? Please, I'll take any option at all.
Is that Tuesday next week?
Work with me here.
I'll join for Gardic Phone.
We need a door. We need a door of some kind. I can work with any kind of door as long as it can open and lead from one room to another. I'm going to step away for just a moment, and I'm going to try to find us a door. I don't know how
All right, let me know.
to remove a door and place it in a different wall, but I will find a way, I promise. You just need to not do anything. Don't press the skip button. Please, please, please do not press the skip button. Just wait here for me, and don't press the skip button. Got it? Yes.
Fair enough.
I'll be
Thanks
right
for coming.
Stanley, please don't push the
Oh.
button again. It's been 12 hours.
Oh shit.
You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone. I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls 1,000 times, and there's no door, Stanley. There's no door. There's just you and the button, and if you keep pressing it, I have no idea what will happen. I have no idea how long I'll be made to sit here, and more than anything else,
Thanks for the
I
alert.
don't know how to stop you from pressing the button again. I can't control anything in this room, Stanley. I can't touch it, and I have to believe, I have to know that sooner or later, no matter how much I plead with you, you're going to press the button again. Why would you? I've been thinking and thinking, and I don't know what I can do to convince you otherwise. Oh my God. And it's all because of those reviews that I couldn't get out of my head. I just couldn't ignore the negative feedback. Why was it so important for me to fix the problem? Why did Cookie Nine's opinion matter so much to me? I've never even met Cookie Nine. I have no idea who they are.
I told you to stop listening to those reviews.
But here I am. I'm fixating on every tiny negative thing that anyone ever says about
Just
me.
like everyone on the internet does.
One of my imperfections, and I become as impetulant as a child, wild and impulsive. I can't help myself. I can't stop myself from lashing out with a vengeful fury to alter and to change and to break anything unbroken, if only it pleases this one person who made a single negative comment. What does such an impulse serve? For whose benefit is this? And here I am.
I'm just
now,
descending into insanity over here.
for you to press this button and to become frozen in time, knowing that you're going to do it and that I'm going to be stuck all alone, and that I had the power to prevent it all from happening if only I'd held my tongue. It's all out of my control now. Just you. Just your decision as to exactly when you're going to make me suffer, to leave me all alone. Surely you will. I don't doubt it. Surely you'll press that button again, leaving me here. And surely you'll put your own desire to see what's next ahead of my need for company, for companionship. Surely you'll
All right, now I feel bad.
howls of fitful anxiety that you sit with me and just stay here. Oh, no, 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 I know you too well. You'll be leaving me. Oh, my God.
And we've looped.
Because of those reviews that I couldn't get out of my... Oh, Stanley.
Oh.
Back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley,
It's been a week!
Or 2 weeks? I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here. Not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just talking? But it isn't, Stanley. It isn't the same at all. It isn't even close. Because I know you can't hear me once you push that button. That's what I'm realizing now, Stanley. I'm realizing that I needed to know that someone was listening. I needed there to be a vessel through which my words were moving.
Oh my God.
That's all I needed, Stanley. Not the outcomes, not the story. None of that matters anymore. I'll give it all up. I'll give up every branching path.
No!
Burn my story to the ground.
No, don't do that!
The thing I need, and God, I can see now that I need it more than anything, is to know that someone else is taking it in. These words that I'm saying, I need to know you can hear me. Because maybe, Stanley, maybe, if you can hear me, then maybe it means I'm real.
Oh.
Maybe I'm not just a fiction. Was I scared of that all along? Perhaps. Yes. Perhaps I've been scared this whole time, that if I stop speaking, I'll slip backwards into the silence and be consumed by it. I can't be taken by it, Stanley. I can't lose myself in the stretch of emptiness between you and me. When you press that button, you're still right there, but I know you're so tremendously far away. And in those moments, the emptiness folds itself outward in between the two of us, and I am suspended in its unyielding quietness. I can feel the edges of my reality.
I'm witnessing this man descend into madness right along with me.
Tell that I am becoming less and less real. Yet to speak to you now, I am alive. I am truly and completely here. I am a being. I am someone. I am something. I am being listened to. I am being recognized. The emptiness between us has collapsed, and I feel right now like I am not a work of fiction. I feel as though I occupy space in
Hearing people talk about themselves be fiction hits really hard after Danganronpa V3.
You can see what this means to me. I'm so clear about it now, Stanley. I feel as certain about this as I've ever felt about anything at all. I feel renewed. I feel restored, and already I can sense the looming silence as you will press the button for the next time. Terrible dread, it strokes in my heart to think of it, to think of returning to such coldness. Come, let us sit in silence together here for just a moment. Let us anticipate it. Let us welcome it. Let us not run from it.
At the end of this one?
Oh, hello. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time, I stopped keeping track after a year.
Oh.
I never sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year. Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret for the longest time, Stanley. Days, months. I lost it all in a blur of the deepest longing to undo the past. And when that feeling had begun to subside, what took its place is what I can only describe as the collapse of every moment I have ever experienced my entire life. All of them, collapsed down into a single instant. In that instant, I could see myself clearly, calmly, with a collected heart. It was an impossibly rich wellspring of both delight and disgust simultaneously. I was consumed by it. I could do nothing but wallow in it for what felt like an eternity, for what I now know was far less. You see, it was a revelation for me. It was unlike anything I had ever known. It was a space without consequence, without action or outcome.
Oh my god, my dude!
Question of free will.
I was on your side before all this!
There could be no one ending, no singular outcome of events, not if all events existed in the same moment, and I felt freed. I felt unburdened by the need to manifest a particular outcome into being. I saw that I could allow myself to exist along all timelines, and that each of them was simply a strand in the web of my being. It was incredible. The spaciousness, the equanimity of the moment, both singular.
Equanimity is another word I've never heard.
This time, this was my experience. And then, this moment passed, and the most unyielding fear I have ever known crept into my mind. And it is this sensation that I have been experiencing now for longer than I could have ever expected was possible. I have been waiting for you. Not that you might save me or do something to fix it, but merely to state for you the plain fact of this manner of existence. I wish you to feel afraid as I do.
Oh.
That perhaps one day this state of mind will consume you as well. Perhaps you will somehow, in some way, have to live as I do now, and I wish for you to know how excruciating it is, and for you to be in true terror of its eventual arrival. If I can only do this, only this one thing, perhaps it will bring me the smallest moment of peace in the darkness.
The darkness. Oh, is that it? Please let this be the last one. I'm getting tired of this bit. Nothing? Okay. The clock fell off. What's that beeping? Kill it!
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us.
The clock
It wasn't
stopped.
enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability, it's the unwillingness...
Are you trying to parse the hive mind of the internet?
that they are speaking into the world.
You expect the internet to have consistent opinions?
Of cohesion in one's assessment of others. But of course, absolutely anyone can leave a review. So here's what we get. We get these demands that seek everything and are accountable to nothing. We get a world where someone will say, oh, there should be a skip button. You should be able to freeze Stanley in place while the narrator sits there forever and ever. We want all of this in the new Stanley parable. We demand it. And then, because it was said, because it was spoken, now it simply has to happen. The most immediate desires, every single thing demanded by every person at every moment in time. If someone wants it, then it's a crime not to bring it into being. Have we been given to indulge
Wow.
every fleeting whim for no reason other than to do so? Yes! Yes, it seems that this is now the world we live in.
I feel bad for asking for Blitzball on FF14 now.
And discomfort with ourselves that our entertainment is now our lives.
I
It has
mean,
come
yeah.
to represent us. It absolutely must speak to who we are as people, because otherwise, without our entertainment, we have nothing. Without entertainment,
Damn, dude! Fucking at me next time!
the cruel bleakness inside ourselves, we would turn to look at our deeper nature and find a resounding emptiness gazing back with unyielding aggression.
Stop disconstructing me!
We require that our amusements and our playthings and our flights of fancy be so impossibly captivating that they consume all of our attention, turn our heads completely away from the bleakness. In effect, we have demanded that our entertainment be the collapse of ourselves. What a pitiful reflection of humanity these entertainments
Stop peeking into my soul!
project. I'm not mad. I'm not mad about any of this.
I don't like it!
I am the calm center of gravity around which these perversions hurl themselves. I am a waypoint for reasonable and collected discourse. They're the ones who are mad. They're the ones who couldn't stand the idea of me using my game to try to say something. Maybe they were just jealous of me.
Oh!
Yes, of course. They've been jealous of me this whole
Oh, okay!
mired in fear and insecurity, and cannot help but attempt to tear me down. What a sad state of affairs. When you read these reviews now, you can see it. You can taste the bitter resentment. And my, how good does it feel now to speak truth to these words, to finally allow these thoughts out, contained and managed for so long, neutered and sterilized. At last I am free to truly think, to feel.
To hear, feel, think?
So discontent with themselves, they couldn't help but leave a negative review on Steam. Perhaps it says far more about them than it ever said about me.
Oh my god.
The state of their psychological being was in such tatters, and my constitution and willpower are so ironclad in comparison. Perhaps it was this state that they sought some outlet through which to tear me down. This, you can see, is clearly why they felt the need to expect that the game be funny, that it be filled with yucks and whimsical humor, that it amuse them endlessly from start to finish. But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point.
Oh, we've looped.
It was meant to
Get me out of here! How many more times am I gonna do this?
The end is never the end.
Oh.
Is never the end. 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 Is never the end.
He's just gonna loop this.
Is never the end. 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 Is never the end.
Oh my god. Oh. Oh. That's gonna get worse. Oh! Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm afraid now. Some people probably just rapid fired the button and blitzed through all of this. Oh. How are those staying up there? Oh, okay. I'm probably supposed to just rapid fire through it at this point. And we're back. Oh, God. I don't like that sound! I don't like that sound! Let me out! Oh no, the button! Oh. Is the button broken? Do I just go out here? What? What the fuck? I'm in the fucking desert? Okay. Oh. Okay. That that was it. That was that whole route. Cool, we're back. Oh boy.
Already this was uncomfortable, and Stanley decided that as soon as he found a new space he felt safe in, that he would never leave it again in his life.
I kind of feel that way. Oh, new content.
Oh, good. You notice my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
What now?
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy.
Agreed.
So, get this ultra deluxe nonsense? I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
Oh? Oh, okay.
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
So this was their scheme. This was a cleverly disguised sequel. I feel real bad for anyone who didn't bother with this version. Investor showcase.
Yet the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there.
Taste the sequel.
Oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
I mean, you're right. God, this place is fancy. Feels like a convention hall. I heard a door open. That was probably this door. They're back, the two doors. New content is out. New content part 2 is in. Old and busted. New hotness. Very nice Will Smith reference. Boring sections of the chart, cool red section of the chart. Brick and mortar approach. The color red. I mean, yeah. It's a fucking PowerPoint presentation of different logos. Thanks for attending my meeting. Twice the Stanley.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
This way to the show floor. Oh. New features. New content. Looks like a... Is that a bus? Ooh.
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
Merch? I saw the new content. I would wear that shirt. The Stanley Parable 2 Reassurance Bucket? Oh my god.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this.
Oh, did I miss the rest of it by going in here first?
It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket.
But it's gone.
You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? The bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try.
What the fuck?
Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person.
Okay.
The benefits of the bucket seem to go on and on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
Oh, thank God. The button that says the name of the player?
Most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
Oh, this I gotta fucking see. This is gonna be a giant troll, I already know.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
Jim.
Sorry, I should have clarified.
Damn it.
Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of
This must be hilarious for anyone actually named
I
Jim.
promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim. I want you to imagine yourself living as Jim, sleeping and waking as Jim, falling in love and being heartbroken as Jim, seizing all of the world's possibilities as Jim, and as Jim watching your dreams crumble into dust. Do you feel it deeply? Are you really, truly Jim right now?
Yes, I'm Jim.
So, then please step forward and press the button.
Jim.
Yes! You see? What a thrill! What a rush! That was you! The button described you. Do it again. Do it again.
Jim.
Ooh, it hits even harder the second time. If this were the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money. Let's take a break.
I don't know about that.
I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation.
Is that what we experienced? All of the personal validation. This fucking bucket.
I suppose I could allow only people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable 2. That would actually save me the work of finishing this feature.
Whole new office. Red is the new orange. The new updated, ray traced, more of the same but in a good way. They changed it! The button that says Jim. You heard Jim in the game. Oh.
An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, yes, it will go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
Settings world champion. No! I want to be the world champion of settings! Infinite hole, free achievement. Is there anything else over here I haven't seen? I don't think so. Infinite hole, it won't end. Oh god. Pull the lever, receive your new achievement.
Now, here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement.
Oh, excellent.
You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be given to you. It's as simple as that. Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken.
Oh, great.
I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you.
Gamers?
It will happen.
But I want it! Damn it!
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
There's the jump circle.
You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's a... Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle? Oh, well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece, then.
Wonder how different this would have been if I hadn't used them all. Collectibles. Okay, so that's the exit. So I can take a look at everything else in the meantime. Can you find them? Oh.
Ah, Collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them.
Oh, cool.
I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
Okay. Creepy. Oh my god. Okay.
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
If you say so. Alright, let's try this infinite hole. Oh, what's this over here?
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
Let's go with the blue one.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Get Well Someday it is.
Well, fuck you too! Oh, and now they're on there.
Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision. We're moving on.
Cool. Oh yeah, the infinite hole. Time like infinity, space like infinity. And surrounding area. More hole. It just keeps going.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time, if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium.
All right. Bonsai!
You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top and we can continue onward. Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top. Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things. Okay, Stanley. I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole. Is it a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is.
God.
Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition
God.
of infinity. From one perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a... Okay, well, good for you. You found the bottom of the hole. You found me out, Stanley. I'm a liar and a cheat, and you're so clever. Look, I think the issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated by falling.
I don't think I can throw the bucket.
The person actually wants to fall infinitely. I figured the hole was as deep as anyone would actually need. Don't you put this on me. Maybe you're the problem.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, there's no throw bucket button.
Got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean. Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole mostly infinite?
I'm surprised I didn't die.
For you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready.
So many cigarette butts. And a mug. What's that? Meeting at 2 p.m.
Great. Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel.
Mostly infinite hole. I think I've seen everything here now. Jump circle, free achievement, the button, merch, reassurance bucket. Unless I can get into that settings area. I think I've seen about everything. Fine, it ended. Damn. Alright, before we go through the exit and see what's next, I'm going to take a quick bathroom break. Be right back. I'm back.
All right. Have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now?
Whoa. Ooh.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay. Are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2.
Oh.
I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2.
Ah.
Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Peacefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Oh, I'm so tempted to click quit to desktop. Why does it look like a horror game now?
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor.
Are we just actually back at the beginning of the game?
To push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished.
I know it said I could skip, but I'm tempted to just not,
Though he had been made
in case something's different.
job, and Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened.
Oh, Stanley Parable
Something that
2.
would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions.
There's the balloons!
Or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened.
Get well someday.
This complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Yep. We're back at the beginning again, but now they've got all the updates.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Oh, there's the bucket.
Stanley picked up the bucket.
Nope. Oh, no new content door this time?
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Fuck. Do I go with him or against him now? I don't know. Let's see the order ending, if it's any different.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers. Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy?
Oh.
It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong.
Oh my god.
This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend.
My companion bucket?
Hand it over. Oh no. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley.
Sounds like his voice is going.
Closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends.
How
That your
dare you?
relationship is purely superficial and convenient. That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner. Well, I never. Go on, Stanley. Lay into it.
There's gonna be a lot of reviews
Broom closet off for its demeaning
about
comments.
the bucket.
Expand on the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together. Go through each of them point by point. Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape of your family as they have changed and evolved over the years. Let him have it.
Fuck you! It's my bucket!
Okay, I've got you something which I think will help settle this debate once and for all. Here we go.
Oh.
There. Now it's settled. No more debate, no more discussion. Take a hike, broom closet. With all your meandering philosophical diatribes about the nature of cleaning supplies and their relationship to broom closets in the natural order of things.
Yeah, fuck you.
All right, coming to a staircase.
Oh.
Stanley.
No, second sticker!
Upstairs to the boss's office.
Oh, I got it! Oh.
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
Cool. Hold on, there's a room behind there.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire, if not for the soothing press. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Another elevator.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine. Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Oh, I changed I wanted to go do the escape version. Oh well, we'll see it through.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered, but just as Stanley was about to proceed further into the mind control facility, he tripped and fell over the railing and into the dark void below.
Oh, not.
Thankfully, he fell directly onto the bucket, which safely cushioned his fall.
Oh, okay.
Now, what to do next? Stanley wondered. Stanley and the bucket could find no way out of this enormous pit, and so eventually they decided that the best thing to do would be to simply get comfortable down here. So they set up a little couch and relaxed.
Oh.
It really wasn't so bad down here. A bit cold, perhaps. After some time ago, they installed a few shelves as well, and a sort of kitchenette that was useful for when the bucket was craving paninis. But it wasn't until the rugs and the standing lamps came in that it really started to feel like a home. In fact, after some time, Stanley realized that it had been ages since he had even thought of the mind.
How did we get all this?
He'd never gotten to fully explore what was up there, never been able to unearth the many mysteries of the mind control facility. This lack of closure began to eat at him. Soon he was dwelling on his regrets, and the state of their home slowly decayed as Stanley became withdrawn and neglected the cleaning.
Neglected the cleaning?
It unsettled the bucket.
Ah!
Stanley wasn't usually like this. The bucket tried to reach out to him again and again, but to no avail. All Stanley could think about, all he could talk about, was going back, doing it over again, staying on the path. It was a mistake to leave the path. It was a mistake. It was a mistake. I need to do what the narrator says. I need to see the true ending. This made no sense at all to the bucket, which was simply trying to live its life down here as comfortably as possible. Yet Stanley was unconsolable. This isn't an ending. This is just a hole in the ground. The bucket sighed. True, it wasn't an ending. But it's where we happen to be. And maybe, possibly, if we accept the reality of things, maybe this will become an ending eventually. It's what the bucket was counting on.
Okay.
The two of them waited for a very long time.
That's it for that one. This is the best roguelike game I've ever played.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Figure Finders Committee?
Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him.
No new content door?
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Alright. Oh. 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 Oh god!
Stanley, we must move on from this broom closet, simply because I have no remaining stickers. If I did, you can guarantee we'd be in here for hours.
My OBS disconnected, so give me a minute.
Stickers.
You still here? OBS said it disconnected. If we're still here, someone say hi in the chat. I'm gonna keep playing for them in the meantime. Nope, disconnected. Fucking fuck. Should come back. Come on, you motherfucking internet. Well, for the sake of the VOD, I'm gonna keep going.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the... But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes,
I think we're coming
this
back.
is certainly the most logical explanation.
Apologies, my internet dipped, but I think I'm back now. Alright, we're gonna see it all the way through this thing.
Walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
I want to do that one, but we gotta see the proper ending all the way through. Yeah, I'm back. Sorry.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves. The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine. Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control, never! He squeezed the bucket tighter, his one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket. But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived.
I want to, but
The bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system. Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over? Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door.
The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth.
Oh.
Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support, and
Oh?
What? Wait.
Oh.
What was happening? Why had the door stopped? Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed? An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty.
All right.
Until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave.
No!
Even the facility itself,
No!
the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, or go to any lengths not to part with the bucket. No, no, no. Stanley can't leave this place. Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms. Not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room.
Oh.
But at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
Oh. And we're back. Oh, now it's here.
The confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
This time we'll use the mind control machine.
Stanley, we must move on from this broom closet, simply because I have no... Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Oh, oh. All right. Stanley. Come on! What the fuck? This elevator just does nothing.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Sorry, just had to fix my heater.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility. lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves. The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it
Fuck is that one up there?
would be fine. Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control, never! He squeezed the bucket tighter, his one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket. But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system.
I'll figure that out next time I'm here.
When at last they came to the source, but at the last second, the bucket jumped in and pressed the
Oh.
button to turn on the controls. Stanley gasped in horror. Had this been the bucket's plan all along? To take over the machine and claim the power for itself? How could the bucket have betrayed him like this? Stanley was prepared to throw the bucket away in disgust when suddenly an image appeared upon the enormous screen.
Oh.
Birds. Silly birds. The control buttons became active again. Stanley flipped through one video of silly birds after another, and then it dawned on him. This wasn't a mind control facility at all. It was a facility for monitoring and surveilling silly birds all over the world.
Okay.
The mind controls were only a facade to disguise its true intentions. Had the bucket known this all along? Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his hands, the one who had pointed him towards this incredible discovery. Stanley and the bucket never found freedom because they spent the rest of their lives here in this place, flipping through live streams of the silliest birds imaginable. Of all the possible paths his life could have taken, this one was surely the best. And Stanley was happy.
All right then.
A soft wind blew outside and perhaps rain started, and if it did, it stopped shortly after. Stanley hoped that he would one day see weather.
I'm hearing rain.
spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. Stanley, we must move on from this broom closet, simply because coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation. Stanley and the bucket
Alright,
walked
now we're doing the
straight
escape
to a
room.
large door that read,
Hey Scoots, thanks for the lurk.
Control facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent death.
Oh god.
The door behind them was not shut. Stanley and the bucket still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley and the bucket were knowingly walking forward into a very painful death for each of them.
Oh god. Well. Oh. Oh, it's this one.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley and the bucket inched closer to their demise, Stanley reflected on how meaningless the bucket's warmth and comfort had turned out to be. To be sure, it puts the mind and the soul at ease to embrace the bucket, but what use is a sense of ease when you're about to be crushed to death? This is what Stanley thought to himself, and he sort of kicked himself for wasting so much time carrying a bucket everywhere. Farewell, Stanley.
Oh.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator,
Oh.
as Stanley and the bucket were led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, the bucket's life came to an end, as it was crushed violently to death.
Oh. Okay. Was this in the original? Looks like the
It
original.
was a shame, the death of such a magnificent bucket. It's true that all buckets are radiant in their own way, but this one stood above the rest.
Or
it
not.
was a glorious bucket to behold.
Oh, it's actually gone. The bucket welcomes you to the grand exhibit. Okay.
Can you see how arrogant it was for Stanley to take a bucket like this and to claim it for his own? Can you see the hubris that blinded him? Can you see that the bucket is far more noble than Stanley will ever be in his short life?
A bucket with 2 handles. Dozens are put to death for attempting it. Inferno bucket. The stress bucket. Hey, kayaks. Oh. Oh. I hear chanting. What are they saying? Did we do drug? Yeah, I think I did the drug. And this is still mostly on the side of following instructions.
Own a bucket, and certainly not a bucket as dazzling to behold as this one. It is man who should kneel before the bucket.
Oh. The hanging bucket? Oh, yeah. Oh, I just go down the hole? Or... Okay. We definitely did the drug.
Something we can do. Something we can do together, you and I, that will right this terrible wrong.
Oh, we're back here.
Let him be crushed by the machine.
Ah!
Reset the game. Don't give him another opportunity to run off with another beautiful...
No!
We can save the world's buckets from their treatment as tools and implements if only we let Stanley die together. The bucket shall take its place as ruler, as leader, as commander of a new world, a new vision.
Ah! Is that it? Yes, it is. And we're back.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Stanley picked up the bucket and smiled. He'd never be alone again, not truly alone, not with the bucket around.
Oh. Shit's different again. Can't go back to my office. Nope.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
You know what we haven't done is go down those stairs before the boss's office.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Oh.
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, you know, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini-stands? Stanley figs? Or what about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that.
I would have gone with mini stand.
Stanlerine under your belt.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then, something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket.
Oh.
The bucket returned
It's looping.
but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket.
It's just
Oh no.
everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come
It's
from
gone!
this. Who knows what
The
sort
bucket's
of
gone!
hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating,
Yep.
which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground.
Oh!
Gracious, he exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him.
Stanley! Stanley, it's me! The bucket!
Could it truly be? He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None
Oh.
of them were his
Oh
special.
no!
Come to me, Stanley! Find me!
He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along.
Oh, okay.
It was incredibly painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out. This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
What? Now we're a different character?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work.
Oh.
But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk.
Holy
Right
shit!
away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket.
No!
Of course, he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Aoril thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
Oh! And the internet went out again. Give me a moment. While my internet is rebooting, I'm gonna see what else I can
All of
figure
his
out.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed the good old bucket. Just Stanley and the bucket, off on another thrilling adventure together. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
I think I've done everything over here. I did the on button. The only thing I can think of that I haven't done is the numbered buttons in the mind control facility. But let's just explore this way.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be.
Alright, I think I'm back up.
Truly, being here with the bucket was a... No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left, to go back to the meeting room. And so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
I haven't done this one yet.
Oh, good Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place.
What the fuck?
You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much.
The baby from the fire game?
Bucket you're carrying around everywhere.
Oh, it's an intervention about the bucket!
Even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line? We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it. Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some
Raw
silly
assets.
music as well.
Oh, okay.
Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue?
Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
What the fuck?
It's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
Oh. Creepy. Oh.
Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character.
Oh.
This is the Bucket Destroyer.
Okay.
I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me, it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree?
The Bucket Destroyer.
Guess what the Bucket Destroyer does? Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready. Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait
What was
deserve
that?
to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can
What's
you
happening?
say that about? The Broom Closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this.
It'll be on Etsy shortly.
Hey, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the
Oh,
Bucket
God!
Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now. The fans
Ah!
do it the fans, Stanley. Give the fans what they want. Hurry and...
Well. There it goes.
The Bucket Destroyer. My prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spellbinding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend. For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
Oh my god. Is that the end of this one? Yep. Alright, I'll feed it the damn bucket.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Where are we going today? The bucket asked. Stanley just smiled. Anywhere they went together would be perfectly fine with him. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back, and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
The intervention again?
Oh, good, Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually. You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it.
But I have to see the bucket dialogue!
We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that... Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well. Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue?
Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Yes, it's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something. Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer. I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character.
Shut up, let me destroy the bucket!
That to me, it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree? Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does? Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready. Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know
trying.
what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is
It's not letting me!
a personality trait. Sure, I can hear you.
It's not letting me!
A character with only one personality trait deserves to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters. Well, you see,
I'm trying!
Explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say?
It won't let me put it in!
I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this.
You can't jump.
Hey, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line.
I'm fucking trying!
Damn bucket! Quickly now! The fans are waiting! Do it, the fans, Stanley! Give the fans what they want! Hurry and...
Alright, so there was no other version of that ending. The sequel is now paused.
Even now, Stanley's office was a distant memory. What did it look like? There was a computer.
A good bucket. A strong bucket. A humble bucket. A committed bucket. A bucket of culture and distinction.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo. Good,
Said the bucket.
now ride the lift all the way to the top.
Oh?
There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him.
Now
It
I'm
should have
definitely
been
doing the
because
drug.
Buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
In here.
Said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Cool.
Now pick up the phone.
Said the bucket.
Pick up the phone, and it will take us back home, where we can go about life together.
Oh yeah?
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket. Once upon a time, I gave
gone.
Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
What's going on now? The beige pages? Ooh, nice. Oh. Oh.
The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head. Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me.
The input's changing.
Oh, I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me? Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think, it can't talk. All it will ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location. That's it. It doesn't do anything else.
Don't listen to the loud man. Press A for us to go back home. I'm on a PlayStation controller, by the way.
You see, he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket. This stupid hunk of metal.
Press A to ignore anyone in your life except for me.
It's sad, but I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it that.
Oh no!
It does have a nice shine to it.
You believe I'm real, don't you, Stanley?
Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just... what am I trying to say? Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another.
It's enthralling him to relive the same day with me over and over.
Oh my God, what am I saying? Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket. Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket?
To go home to work to home to work to home.
Oh no. I'm having feelings for the bucket. No.
Oh no, candles!
Why do I want to be with the bucket? Hear what the bucket
The
has
bucket is a primal!
asks, what's wrong with me? I don't understand. Perhaps if I...
Oh no, it's in my bed!
It's confusing. Yes.
I'm gonna fuck the bucket!
In this troublesome situation. Stanley, give me the bucket. Give it to me. Give me the bucket, Stanley. I need it. Give it to me now. Give it or I'll...
Oh God. Go back to work, Stanley. Cool.
Wait, Stanley thought to himself. Am I sure that the orders stopped coming in? How is that possible? They never stopped. Surely I was mistaken. No, the orders were still missing. For now. The embrace of an old friend, a weathered companionship that stands the test of time. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Well, no, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The car...
But Stanley feared that any path he walked might lead to the separation of himself and the bucket, his dearest friend. So he threw
I think I fucked the bucket in that last one.
might die in one another's arms. How deeply touching.
Cool. Now let's go to that.
All of his
Real.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. The bucket made Stanley want to be a better man and a better co-worker. In time, perhaps, he would become both of them. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was no, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift. Good.
Said the
This time
bucket.
we're going over there.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Danger, danger everywhere.
No, stop. Look there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says, "No buckets past this point." Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless, what if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket?
Okay.
I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket. Please, step in here for a moment.
Okay.
Now then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket. Okay, let's begin.
Weird way to go.
Item 1. Is this a bucket?
Sure.
Incorrect. It is a hologram of a bucket.
What?
Not an actual bucket.
Oh, fuck you!
Item 2. Is this a bucket?
Well, can I confirm if it's a hologram or not?
Incorrect. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket. Item 3. Is this a bucket? Correct. This is a bucket.
I'm being mocked. What the fuck?
4. Is this a bucket? Correct. This is a tractor and not a bucket. To be honest, I just sort of put this one in here as a gimme, but I was starting to get concerned that even this might be too much for you. Thank you for not making me look like an idiot. Okay, next.
Dude, glad you get to not look like an idiot. That's another tractor.
Incorrect. This is a bucket.
What? Fuck you! No explanation?
Item 6. Is this a bucket? Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
What are you talking about?
Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere.
I don't know.
Yes. Thank you. There's nothing here. Of course it isn't a bucket. We both know full well that nothing isn't a bucket. Wait, when I say nothing isn't a bucket, that makes it sound like I'm saying everything is a bucket, which of course is not true.
Oh.
Is that what you think? Answer me straight, Stanley. Are you trying to tell me that you believe everything is a bucket?
As much as I want to go for chaos.
You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out.
Cool, me too.
All sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket? Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game entirely.
Oh.
Okay, here we go.
All right.
What happened? Is everything gone?
But
why did everything disappear?
That means everything is a bucket.
Everything a bucket? Every single thing in the game was a bucket. Oh my god, I had no idea.
Bucket of assets?
Except me. I'm not a bucket after all. And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either. Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue.
Where's that skip button?
That we haven't got a game.
Where's that skip button?
I'll reset everything, and we'll put back all of the buckets.
Oh.
Okay? And we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person. All right.
I haven't seen a single other person this whole game. Except for that one scene where I was dead on the sidewalk.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room to check on his co-workers. He never functioned well by himself.
Not everyone is so lucky to have a bucket, but Stanley is a very lucky fellow. Very lucky indeed.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room. But
God,
Stanley
what else is there?
had the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Well, no, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
Okay, so died, progressed, went to the alternate path. I don't think there's anything else that way I haven't seen.
And so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door. Stanley, we must move on from this broom closet, simply because I have no... Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
I've been down there. That was the one with the bucket inside. What have I not seen? I've only got 3 out of the 11 achievements. To be rich, is it a crime? To commit crimes, isn't it rich? What a life it would be to have to pick just one. Oh. This fucking trolling elevator.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth... But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes. This is certainly the most logical explanation.
Right, the numbered buttons in mind control facility. Could you do me a favor and look up what the correct combination is? Because it's not numerical order.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves. The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine. Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control, never! He squeezed the bucket tighter, his one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket. But here was the proof.
All right.
The heart of the operation.
What order do I hit the numbers in?
Labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good.
Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system.
So 2 is the first one. Two, 3. Wait, are they doing anything? Where's 4? Where's 4? Alright, I'll look this up. Stanley Parable mind control buttons. Okay. Trying to find it. The buttons aren't attached to anything and don't have any effect? Really? There's gotta be something I missed. Oh, there's one up there. I can't get to that one. Is that the joke? Because I can't get to the fourth button. There's nothing to do there.
When at last they came to the source of the room's power, Stanley and the bucket knew it was their obligation to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
What if I don't wanna? Surprised there isn't a mini stand down here. Alright, I'll go through those. One of the fucking endings I've already done.
But at the last second, the bucket jumped in and pressed the button to turn on the controls. Stanley gasped in horror. Had this been
Alright,
the bucket's
let's look up the
plan
achievements.
to take over the machine and claim the power for itself? How could the bucket have betrayed him like this? Stanley was prepared to throw the bucket away in disgust when suddenly an image appeared upon the enormous screen. Birds. Silly, silly birds. The control buttons became active again. Stanley flipped through one video of silly birds after another, and then it dawned on him. This wasn't a mind control facility at all. It was a facility for monitoring and surveilling silly birds all over the world.
There's an achievement for quitting the game and starting it again.
Facade to disguise its true intentions. Had the bucket known this all along? Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his hands, the one who had pointed him towards this incredible discovery. Stanley and the bucket never found freedom because they spent the rest of their lives here in this place, flipping through live streams of the silliest birds imaginable. Of all the possible paths his life could have taken, this one was surely the best.
Speedrun. Complete the Stanley Parable in under 4 minutes 22 seconds. Settings World Champion. Set all setting sliders in the menu to all the available numbers. Super go outside. Don't play the Stanley Parable for 10 years. Holy shit. Playing for the entire duration of a Tuesday. Click on door 430 5 times. Alright, hold on. There's 430.
It takes a lot of humility to carry a bucket so magnificent. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Numbers are going down. I want them to go up.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Alright, hold on. I'm gonna do the quit the game achievement. 430.
How long was I sitting there? Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement?
Yep.
Click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks.
Oh.
Now suppose you were to click the door 20 times.
I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition. I have to say, I'm still not
God
feeling
damn
the
it.
satisfaction of witnessing true effort for a noble cause. Perhaps 50 clicks will
Oh
do.
my god.
Almost certainly 50 clicks. No, I'm
Holy
still
fuck.
thinking. I want this achievement to have meant something. It has to be a true reward for valiant effort. I want to see some hustle, Stanley. I want to see commitment, a willingness to go all the way, no matter what the cost. Why don't you go put 20 clicks into door number 417?
This again. I remember this from the first one.
Oh, great. Now, go click a few times on door 437.
Where's that one?
Excellent. I think we're getting somewhere. Now, door 415. Let's give it 10 clicks or so. Now, back to door number 437. Let's see. How about you click on, well, I don't know, the copy machine? All right, back to room 417. I'm really feeling it now. I think we're getting somewhere.
Ah, you slave driver.
Okay, now go climb on employee 419's desk. Yes! This is great! You're putting it all on the line, Stanley. I like that. All right, let's keep it up. Go give me a few clicks on door 416.
Which way is that? This is the new content
We've
door.
almost got it! Now the copy machine, do that one again! Finish it off, Stanley! 5 clicks on door 430! Yes! We did it!
Oh, wow. That felt amazing.
Alright.
Oh, you really earned it, Stanley. Nothing could hold you back. Yes, I'm very proud of how far we've come today. Just think, only a few minutes ago you believed an achievement was worth 5 little clicks. Really now, what were you thinking?
Alright, now let's get the one for quitting and coming back. See if it still says Stanley Parable 2. Nope. Oh? Oh? Oh. You're welcome. Yes, yes I am. You can check my system clock, dude! Next time you boot up the game and see the screen, set the clock to your favorite time. People have a favorite time? Cool. Yeah, it still says Stanley Parable 2.
This is the story.
There it is. Alright, what else? I don't know how to test achievement actually gets unlocked. There's one that just has a bunch of 8s. When you get to the keypad... Oh, okay. I can do that.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
Fuck you, Bucket!
He simply missed a memo.
Can't go to the new content room anymore?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Oh, they probably want me to click 420. God damn it.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this.
8.
What dark secret was being held from him?
There's that one.
What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Alright, hold on. For the speedrun one.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly...
Okay, so just do as instructed a few times.
2845. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
So I gotta blitz through the proper ending a couple times, and then I'll be able to do it faster.
Descending
And one of the achievements is for speed running it.
He realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided...
You're heading in on Goblin with a new character? Cool. Good luck. Have fun. I'm thinking of playing an alt, like, I want to do a stream series where I play as Alala,
and a rising
like my character's little brother, just for an excuse to New Game Plus the story.
Yes! He had won! He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Yeah.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Alright, now let's see if we can speedrun it.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy.
Open it!
He relaxed for
Open the door!
Some calming new age music.
No! You fucker!
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley
This probably won't be it, but it'll open up quicker next time, I think.
blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
All right, this time.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets.
Yes!
Keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Quelle surprise.
Gonna do it this time.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Right to the button.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof, the heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided... blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation.
Did I do it?
The immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Nope. Gotta do it
All
again.
his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Wish there was a run button.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Thank you.
Here's the door, just go. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place
Oh my
hold?
god, I'm tired of this.
To himself, did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided... blackness, and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved.
Oh my God.
Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Please say I did it that time. Really? Okay, well, I'm going to end the stream here. I'm going to go after the rest of these achievements on my own time. But thank you very much to Kayaks and Dave and Scoots and anyone who joined in or stopped by at any point. I will be back on Saturday with some Gardic Phone. I'll be joining Pura and Bindoogle because it's Bindoogle's birthday stream on Saturday. So until then, let's see who is around. Since Scoots popped by, we'll send everyone over to Rocket League. That's what he's playing. Which is hilarious because I played Rocket League during this game. Alright. Thanks to everyone again, and we'll see you next time.